that's a modifier saying that his ship is a little bit heavier armed than is normally the case for a 74. So after we've got that 9, he's going to get a +1 to that 9. It becomes a 10 for that white circle. He also adds in his audacity at this point. He's got a 1 for his audacity, and that's for the whole fleet. So now we've got +2. That 9 has become an 11. Let's see. The French do not have carronades yet in 1781, so he's not getting a carronade bonus. So it looks like your final firepower number here is 11.
We're not using that initial broadside option.
No, I don't ever determine where. It's just a little bit more record keeping to do so. So it's an 11. So now to resolve this, we go over to this table. So now
chart game.
You decide: are you going to be shooting at the hull or the rigging of robust?
Rigging.
Okay, taking a rigging shot, and then as you point out, what's the special rule here? Any ship that fires with the wind reduces its firepower by 2. Okay.
So I'm against the wind.
So you're against the wind. You're okay. So what he's doing, this table is split up into large.
Oh, that's why you wanted to get over on this side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Firing
okay,
large
it's
vessels
coming,
and firing at small vessels. This is the only small one in the game. So he's firing at a large vessel. You look up on top. You go to the 11 column, and you look on the R side of that. There's an R and H rigging and hull.
R.
R. Exactly.
Then there are die roll modifiers.
And then for the modifiers to the damage, you look at this. Since he's firing at the rigging, +1 French ship is firing. You are French, so you'll get +1 to this. +1 firing into the wind. You are firing into the wind, so you're going to get +2. And that's it. There's firing with the wind, firing at full sail, firing in calm conditions. But we're not in any of those.
So I believe it's an 11.
So you are rolling on the 11 table with a +2. And there goes the 10. 3 becomes a 5. So the result is 3R.
So 3 rigging hits.
So he's caused 3 rigging hits, which makes the captain go, "Arr!" Where's me rigging?
How much rigging can you take?
15.
Oh,
But
a ways to go.
for every 3 that you cause, he loses 1 movement point. So he's already done enough damage to make an impact.
It very quickly becomes hard to stay in formation.
So I'll put that next to him just to show.
Now,
Okay.
does that impact happen right now? So is he done
For
moving?
the movement allowance, for the penalty for the rigging, no. That will come into play the next time I activate him. So I still have I've spent 1 movement point. I still have 1 more to spend. I will go ahead and move forward for my second one, and now I'll shoot back at him. So, firing my port broadside as well.
Now you can actually fire during your move, right? You can move after you fired.
Yeah,
as well,
yeah, exactly.
if you have
Every
one
time,
piece.
the only requirement to fire is you have to spend at least 1 movement point. And that's important because it's just spend a movement point. That doesn't even necessarily mean move forward, because you could spend your movement point by backing sails, so you can stay in the same hex and then fire. As long as you spend one movement point, doesn't matter how you do it. So I've moved forward. I'm going to go ahead and shoot back at him. So I'm a 3. Shooting at 2x range, again a 9, but because of the special rule here, let's see, I'm reducing my firepower by 2, so that 9 goes down to a 7.
And why are you reducing? Because of the wind?
Yeah, it's because of the special rule for this scenario.
All
There's
right.
heavy seas,
Yeah.
so the wind is causing anybody who fires with the wind to reduce by 2, and I am firing with the wind here. So I'm down to 7. My audacity is 0, so I'm not getting any bonus from that. I don't have a white circle on my rating, so I'm not particularly heavily armed, so there's no modifier for that. I am going to get the carronade bonus, though.
Sure.
We're in 1781,
Right.
so the British fire range 3 or less is a +1. So that 7 will bump up to an 8 because of that.
I never noticed that table before.
That's an important one. And that's the one advantage the Brits have here. So I'm at 8. I'm going to go ahead and fire at the hull because the British tend to get better modifiers when they're firing at the hull. So I'm looking over here on the 8 table. I'm looking on the H side of the 8 table. Looking at the hull target modifiers on a British ship firing, check, so that's +1. I'm firing with the wind, check, so that's +2. So I'm on the 8 table at +2. Well, that's starting off pretty well. It's a 9, so that's 11. Okay, so this is good. Here's a 3H star result. So I've caused him 3 hull hits. And in addition to that, there's a chance of a fire breaking out. When you get a result with that little asterisk by it, it's time to man the damage control.
It's starting to sound like enemy in sight.
He's going to have to make another die roll here after the puts the marker on here. If you roll equal to or less than the amount of damage you caused, a 3 in this case, if he rolls a 0, 1, 2, or 3, he's going to get a fire marker on there as well. No, okay, so he's safe. So no fire.
Play the bucket brigade card.
So when he gets 13 hull hits, then he would be damaged and would flip over and reduce his firepower.
Yeah.
So he's a quarter of the way there.
So with the damage, yeah, as you said, you count up to the number over here is their damage capacity. When you reach 13, you'll take off that, say if I really pasted him and gave him 13 damage, you'll take that off and you flip him over to the yellow striped side. And you'll see over here, the firepower number is much less. On this side, it's only a fifth rate, equivalent of a 5th rate ship, representing the damage to the guns and the crew. So, and at that point, that's where, at the end of the game, I'll get half of the victory point value. This guy's a 6 VP ship, so I'll get 3 if he ends the game like that. Maybe more if I can sink him or capture him, or make him strike his colors.
Well, being the front guy could be hazardous to your health.
So there are 2 we talked about for the rigging damage. It slows you down by 1 movement point. It's got a little thing on the marker to remind you about that. For hull damage, every 6 hull hits reduces you 1
Gunnery?
1 rate number. And there are numbers. It's marked on the counters here too, so you'll see that when you pull it out. When you get to a 6 hull hit, it'll have a -1 on it. So his 3 ship becomes a 4 from that point on. Okay, so that's the firing example. That's everything you need to know about firing. So I've got, I'll move everyone else up here. These guys are